I'm here today with Pete and Megan Yeh, owners of Starting Strength Columbus. Pete had spent nearly 2 decades working in the financial service industry and was looking to redirect his passion to a small business he could feel good about. And as a physician, Megan knew the benefits of strength training and was excited by the idea of bringing Starting Strength to Columbus. Together, they hope to bring the impact that strength has made in their lives to the rest of their community. Pete and Megan, welcome to the podcast. I was so excited to put on this t-shirt and sit down with you today.
Well, thanks for having us. And the t-shirt looks great. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
nice to see you, Ina.
Yeah.
It's good to see you guys, and I'm so excited to be at this point. I feel like Starting Strength Columbus has been in the works for quite some time, and it's been a dream of yours, and we were excited to see the city come on the map, and now you guys are in construction mode.
Yes, indeed. It's been a long time coming, but Megan has been fantastic with managing the tasking leading up to this point. So she's definitely keeping me on the ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go Megan.
But
Well,
it's great, yeah, to see some construction finally starting.
Oh, it's really an exciting time. As much as it's challenging, it's exciting as well to see something that you've been imagining come to life. Tell me how you guys found Starting Strength. What made you want to open a gym?
Yeah, that's a great question because 3 years ago, if you would have asked me, Pete, what are you doing starting a gym during the middle of a pandemic? I wouldn't have an answer for you. I'd probably take you to the halfway house. But I would definitely say that, after my tenure in the financial services industry, for the better part of 2 decades, I wanted to change. I wanted to change a pace. I was at home with the kids at the time, and Megan and I had looked at various businesses, including franchises from other brands. And frankly, I just couldn't get behind, slinging donuts and coffee or sub sandwiches. So the search continued. And in the teeth of the pandemic, when everything shut down, I decided to try to work on my fitness at home. So I dug out this old dusty kettlebell and started just training with that. I got a coach, went down the rabbit hole and found Starting Strength. And within a couple months' time, I had a power rack on order from Rogue, and everything was backlogged. So I was like, when is this going to arrive? And finally, we had the ability to set up and piece together a gym in the basement. And that's when our lives changed. I had been an athlete in grade school, and really just years of activity taking an orthopedic toll on my body. And just after 2 months, just an incredible reversal. I was feeling better, more active. I hadn't played volleyball in 10 years, and now I'm back on the court. So really a life-changing protocol. But it was actually much more than that. And as we delved more into the details, got the blue book, got the gray book, and started reading, I realized, a lot of this, was founded in evidence. I've always been an evidence-based guy. What does that mean, though? And at the end of the day, to me, we've got to be able to explain the why in doing what we're doing. And it was just simple and effective. So full stop, Starting Strength changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then Megan started working with the program.
How did you find, well, what was it like watching Pete train? Were you right on board with it, Megan?
Well, I was happy that he was doing something. I can tell you because he hadn't, he was, so busy before. He hadn't done anything for so long. So I was happy to see that he found something that he was pretty passionate about. And I could see that right away. And he was definitely making gains right away that I could see. I was actually pregnant with our second child at the time that he started. But he was, talking it up, trying to convince me that this is something I should do after having our son. And it was about the same time I was having a really rough pregnancy. It was much worse than my first, and I had thrown my back out at 32 weeks. And it just seemed to take forever for me to get back on board with things. Now, could have been partially because I had a bowling ball that I was carrying, but also I just felt like that was the second time I'd thrown my back out in my 30s. And I just knew I was weak. I knew that, I should be improving faster and getting back to normal faster. And I was going to have 2 little kids pretty soon. And I wanted to be able to be around for them and to be active like I was. And so I've been a lifelong runner, but I hadn't really done much in the way of strength training. And, being a physician, I know that that's important, especially as you get on in years. And so it was something I decided, okay, I'll give it a couple weeks. I said, I'll try it after having my kids. And I think the one thing I noticed about it was easy. It was pretty quick. It was easy to follow. I'm all about efficiency too. So it's got to be something where I'm going to actually make gains. And I actually felt like I was doing something, and as I continued on, it got even more challenging, and I like a good challenge. So I think that's where I was really impressed. I saw gains quickly, even though I think we both realized pretty quickly we weren't doing everything correctly. Yeah. But it was still a very fun time. But I enjoyed it.
You recognize as soon as you start doing the program, and when you purchase the blue book, that there's actually a model there, and you can reference your movement against, what they're describing in the book, or maybe what your coach is cueing you. And like Pete said, he wants to know the why. And Megan, what type of medicine do you practice?
I practice internal medicine, and I work as a hospitalist. So I just work strictly in the hospital.
And so you can, fully really integrate the knowledge from the blue book when they're talking about, metabolic disease. And when we talk about the benefits of building muscle and bone, you must have read this stuff and thought like, this is it. This makes sense. This is the why.
Yes, no, I totally agree. And it's just wonderful to see that there's program out there that is so based in physiology, and the coaches obviously have a really great grasp on the movements of the body and what muscle groups do, and I think that's where the value of this program is. It's just great all the way around.
What types of changes did you see in yourself early on in the program that you knew was a little different than what you had experienced with standard exercise regimens?
I think for myself, one of the main things with my second pregnancy, I had a lot of pelvic floor dysfunction. So I was looking specifically to work on my deadlift to improve in that area. And I think that was one of the things most dramatically after my pregnancy that I think really I benefited from. I think the other things just in terms of getting back to my pre-pregnancy weight was just super quick this time with starting strength. And then I actually put on another 7 to 8 pounds of muscle, which was exciting to see.
Must have resolved the back pain as well.
Oh, yes. And I think the interesting thing about that is I've actually had some tweaks here and there as I've gone on in my training, but I've recovered super quickly. I've been able to go back to training right away. And it's just not as much of an issue anymore. And it's so liberating to know that. So.
That's wonderful to hear. And Pete, what types of changes did you see in yourself that you hadn't previously experienced?
Well, several. Not only, I think Megan did notice that I was in a better mood most of the day. And believe it or not, strength training not only trains your physical attributes, but also your mental capacities. And it helps with your, again, your emotional presence. So that's, something that I do want people out there to understand, that it benefits you holistically and not just physically. So that's really important. I had no cartilage in my left knee. So walking up the stairs was painful. Squats fixed that. My back, I had, a bunch of herniations between L2 through L5, evidenced by film. And it was something that my orthopedic surgeon had actually gave surgery as an option. And, contrary to conventional thinking, I decided to try to delay that as much as possible and deal with intermittent pain. It wasn't all the time. But as you know, most people under their 30s have those things show up on film. But after deadlifting for a couple months, my back pain was resolved entirely. No more flare-ups in my low back. And the biggest thing keeping me off the volleyball court was I wasn't able to hit anymore because of a shoulder surgery that I had in 2005, and I had the supraspinatus and subscat repaired, full tears in both muscles. And for years, I was seeing physical therapists with no resolve, no improvement, and then pressing for the better part of like 8 weeks, fixed.
Yeah.
I was like, this is unbelievable. I'm a different human being. Yeah. I feel almost as good as new. Obviously, you can't reverse arthritis. I wish we could. Yeah. But, it was just one of those things that it was such a dramatic impact in my life that, I got Megan and close friends and my parents to start training. And by that time, we're seeing results in people, not only ourselves, but people around us. And when I found the franchise opportunity after speaking with Ray and then speaking with you, that it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. I mean, we're bringing something to the market that the people desperately need. And to answer your question, though, I mean, it just turns you into a different person.
Yeah. And these stories are so common amongst the Starting Strength community for those of us who have discovered it for the first time. When you realize that something has a why, when it's true, it's real, it works with a model, it can be explained, then you want to give it to your family and friends, and you want to make people better. And especially coming from an athletic background and a medical background, to find something that actually works and makes sense, and not just in the now, it's preventative, right? For us, this is about healthy aging now. This is about being there for our children and our families, and functioning and being happy, like you said, and feeling good and getting rid of pain. I mean, when you get something like this, you're like, this is like gold and I want to share it with the world. So yeah. How did you go from being in your home gym to, well, let's open a franchise? Because I remember we were at a seminar together. You attended a seminar to kind of dive a little deeper.
Sure. Yeah. So, when we found the opportunity, we were obviously looking at the numbers, looking at our own financial situation. It was, a toss up, everything that is a startup, is risky by nature. But it was it resonated so much with Megan and I that we felt that there was more at stake. It wasn't just about the money at that point. And we both agreed that, if we were to start a business, we probably shouldn't wait anymore. We're not spring chickens. Got 2 little ones, got to put them through college. So let's do it now. And that started with a phone call with Ray, and Ray was fantastic about, being very real, allowing us to understand that this would not be an easy undertaking, but it would be worth it. And that's really how we started. And then I got introduced to the rest of the franchise team. And of course, you've been wonderful in helping us not only source talent, but kind of being my emotional support at times and talking me off the ledge, when things got stressful. So it is an arduous process, but I will say that we have a fantastic franchise team. And yes. And I would recommend people start franchises if every franchise team operated like we did. I'm sure we don't, though. So Yeah.
I am. Thank you. I am very fortunate to work with the team that I do. We all
Yeah.
feel strongly about starting strength and its ability to improve the quality of people's lives. And in addition to, opening a business and having the challenge of starting a small business, you also have another component to this that you mentioned, building a team. And I know that for you guys in particular, you felt strongly about helping people to develop their careers doing something that they love. And you're very, very invested in your candidates and in your team. So let's talk a little bit about, how you started the process of finding your candidates, what you look for in your coaches, because you guys are particularly invested in developing your coaches. And I've worked with you, and you've been connected to other starting strength coaches, where it's really a collaborative effort. When a candidate comes in, you really show full support. So let's talk about, really where that desire comes from and what you look
Hmm.
for in your candidates and what this process has been like, because you've been very involved in their development and in your own. And Pete, you're in the Starting Strength prep course, the online prep course yourself.
Yeah, that's right. And after going through modules in the prep course, you start to realize really the value of what we're bringing. It actually emphasized the quality of the product that we're bringing to the market. And what I'm looking for in candidates now is the ability to learn and be a critical thinker. And if you can do that, we can definitely make you into a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Rip says it best. We're looking for people that want to be able to, they need to be able to think independently.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be able to learn. And having a hard sciences background is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's just so many things about the program that are governed by first principles like physics, your
Mm-hmm.
physiology, anatomy, biomechanics, that you have to grasp an understanding to
Mm-hmm.
get through the coach prep course.
Mm-hmm.
But the single most important thing is this is a people business. We're not opening a gym, we're opening an educational service.
Mm-hmm.
We're teaching people how to lift, but more importantly, teaching them how to get strong.
Mm-hmm.
Providing a value there that they may have taken decades to try to figure out on their own without direction.
Yeah.
So we need coaches that can lead,
Mm-hmm.
and leadership takes many forms: leading a lifter, leading an apprentice, and teaching them. And I'm a firm believer in one of the tenets that Starting Strength really preaches is that when one teaches, to learn. So you take that away and realize that we are all learning. You need a coach, I need a coach, Rip needs a coach.
Mm-hmm.
That really validated the business model for me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. And as I'm watching, Megan smile, I know that for a physician, this must be so satisfying to know that there is another arm, really another arm of caring for people besides the medical intervention, the preventative aspect of this. Um, Megan, have you kind of integrated this into, the business of taking care of people medically? Are you advising people to lift now? Has that expanded your perspective on health?
It certainly expanded my perspective. I think I was the person prior to this program who would have gone into a gym and would have just been intimidated by the racks and barbells and all those things. I know what a traditional physical therapy program offers to patients, and I think I can see at times what that lacks. That lacks the graded challenges that Starting Strength provides, putting real amounts of weight on the bar to actually cause yourself a physical stress. I think is very important. And I think I can't underestimate the importance enough of, women and men in their 40s, 50s, especially for our women going into that perimenopausal state. It's a huge time and a huge opportunity to increase your bone density by doing a program like Starting Strength. And again, I love the fact that this is actually preventative. You get so much more of a benefit if you can increase your bone density before you go into menopause and before you have that hormonal change than if you start this afterwards. And yes, we have medications and things that can help you out, but I think prevention is always the best medicine if you can. And it's certainly what I preach as an internist and kind of primary care physician.
And you'll be bringing so much value to the gym and the community and the women that will be training there. I would certainly be thrilled to be a member of Starting Strength Columbus, knowing that I'm going to be in your care, people so knowledgeable and so invested. And Pete, you have two really strong coaches coming into this. You're working now currently with Bruce and Jarrett, and they're such special people, and they're so invested.
Yeah, we're super excited, and thanks again, for introducing me to them. What's great is that they're local to Ohio. We have grassroots talent. Number one, that speaks to the reach of Starting Strength and its impact geographically. But secondly, it's fantastic that they're local. They bring to the table a breadth of experience. Jarrett has been an exercise physiologist, so he's actually doing this job and incorporating Starting Strength with his clients in a commercial setting. So he actually works as a trainer inside of I think it was
a large corporation,
a large corporate gym, and a lot of those people have been sedentary.
Oh, yeah.
So you can imagine the dramatic impact that just incorporating and not even following the program to a T, just using some of the methodology has played a part in changing those folks' lives. And he was also in the Marines, and so brings some discipline and the ability to learn, the ability to achieve a mission. And I really like that about Jarrett. Bruce is a really special guy, and those of you that follow Starting Strength, some of you may know Bruce Trout. He's a fantastic individual with a really special story. He actually wrote an article a few months back for Starting Strength in the Asgard company titled "Harder to Kill." And I encourage you all to read his story. He is actually a lower leg amputee. And he's in the gym training. It's amazing to watch and inspirational to anybody that has an excuse not to train. Just, again, take a look at Bruce and what he's doing. And what he's been able to accomplish. He's been training with Nick Delgadillo for 5 years now. So he's learning from the very best. So he's going to bring a deep knowledge and a breadth of experience, and also having gone through all the same mistakes. And in addition to that, having the experience of losing an appendage and finding ways to train under the model, despite that hardship, is going to bring a lot to the table for the clients of Starting Strength Columbus.
Yes, indeed. Both of those young men are strong leaders, which is something that you said you look for in your candidates. They're very caring. They're very invested. They've both been educated in the online prep course. And so these are some of the qualities that you're looking for in your candidates. And they have certainly stepped up. And Starting Strength Columbus is still accepting applications for apprentices and who are, who want to be part of a community as wonderful as this. And I guess, tell me, you guys just started construction. So where is Starting Strength Columbus going?
So we are located in Dublin, which is a suburb in northwest of Columbus, off of the Tuttle Crossing exit. So you can literally see us from the 270 loop. So we're very close to the loop around Columbus, so easily accessible. from anywhere in the city, which is the great thing about our location. We're sandwiched between a Chick-fil-A and a Chipotle as well.
Hey, yeah.
So some good post workout meal options. But we're at 6083 Park Center Circle, so we can't wait to see everybody.
And so you're at the phase now where it's demolition phase?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's fun to see things going down, but pretty soon we're going to be ready to build everything back up. We have a 10 rack gym going in.
Wow.
So one of the larger gyms.
Tell me a little bit about what that layout will be like, the types of equipment that you will have for people who have never done starting strength and are watching this and living in Columbus. You know, I always try to explain that it's not the environment that they're used to in the Globo gyms, and that everything is so specialized and customized, and you have your own space, your own platform. And talk to me a little bit about the layout and the you know, is it, you've got windows out to the shopping center. It's a, you know, very light filled place, but tell me a little bit about the space and your plans for the layout.
It's one of our prototypical designs. The Gillen Waters have done a fantastic job of making sure we utilize every square inch of retail space. As you know, we wanted retail commercial because we wanted the Starting Strength brand out there front and center. About 1,600 square feet. It is more of a rectangular format. So you have a center aisle going all the way back that's crowned by a front lobby. And right when you walk in, you'll have two flat panel TVs that will tell you what group you're in and what you'll be lifting in your program that day, and the other folks that are in your group, which is great. And that, you know, that alone, I think we're trying to build a sense of community. So when you go through hard things with other people, you develop a special bond with them. So that's going to put the Starting Strength business model, I think, in a class in itself. And if you go to a Globo gym, you don't have that. If you go to a Globo gym, you might wait 45 minutes to get onto a squat rack. Once you get onto that squat rack, this happened to me the other day, you have 7 people lining up behind you asking you how many sets you have left. So those that are already into fitness probably understand that and realize the value of being able to just walk in at a preset time, preset routine. You know, you have a training schedule. You do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you train at the same time, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And what's wonderful about that is you're in a rhythm. You know exactly when you come to the gym and what to expect, and you get your medicine, and you socialize, and you're on with the rest of your day. So that's the beauty of this particular model. Anything you want to add there, Megan?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, everybody has their own individual rack too in our gym. There's no sharing. So when you come in, you have your space. You know, you can work at the pace you need to work at. And I think that's the beautiful thing. It's really simple. It's a lot of light. It reminds me kind of a Scandinavian sort of, you know, just that beauty and simplicity, and a lot of inspirational quotes around you to help get you going. But I think it's a really nice setup, and it'll be really great for our clients.
Yeah, everything you need and nothing more.
Nothing more. And Starting Strength gyms are beautiful facilities. And I tell people who have read the books, like, it's having the book come alive. When you walk in, you see Rip's quotes on the wall. You see, you know, the outlines that you're reading about in the book. And you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've walked into the book. And yet, to what you were talking about, you know, you're not lost when you come in. You come in and what you'll be doing is laid out for you clearly. Where you'll be training is reserved for you, and this is very personalized. And so it's really designed for beginners. And when they start at Starting Strength Columbus, they'll be coming in through introductory sessions. Can you tell us a little bit about what that session is? You know, if I'm a new person coming in, how do I start?
Sure. It's an intro session, one-on-one with your Starting Strength coach. and they'll walk you through the basic movements. And again, to Megan's point, the beauty is in the simplicity of the program. So all we do is we squat, we press, we bench press, we deadlift, and we have a power movement. So it's 5 exercises, and you only do 3 exercises a session. So it's very simple. The great thing about it is not to fear. You're going to have a coach there with you to watch every single work set and make sure you're moving properly and moving efficiently. So that's really the large part of what drives the progress of so many practitioners of starting strength is that coach. We are bringing you the quality of the watchful eye of a starting strength coach that is going to be guiding you through each of those movements, helping you allay fears. Some people might be afraid of lifting with their back, and we'll get you comfortable pretty quickly. So,
yeah, the introductory session is there to teach you all the movements, answer your questions, and then you join your group.
Exactly. Exactly.
And the group dynamic is so special. It's like no other place. I mean, I used to own a gym and I ran fitness classes, and I have those to compare it to with my starting strength affiliate gym. And I can tell you that nobody was cheering on the fitness side like they were cheering on the starting strength barbell side, because everyone in the room really kind of, what I say, speaks the same language, because you're using the same skill. You can relate to the efforts of the other person. And I tell people all the time, like, you might be schooled by a 65-year-old woman, or an 80-year-old grandma might school you. Okay. So don't think that you're coming in and, you're going to be the strongest in the room. You might be schooled by someone else that's a little older than you. That's the beauty of starting strength.
Yeah.
And I think the great thing about it too is that the whole culture is about celebrating your achievements as well. So celebrating those big moments when you hit a PR, or you're even just lifting with weight on the bar for a first time can be something huge for certain clients, and it's fun to have people there to celebrate that with you.
It is so profound to really step back and think every time you're going in, while you're completing your novice linear progression, you're doing something that you haven't done before. You've never done this before, and now you're doing it. So, the culture is to celebrate those successes, because every single one of them is important, and they're pave stones on the way for you to develop to your true potential. So that's really important. And, to your point, Ina, all walks of life, you have people in there of all ages, and everybody's cheering for each other. Whether it's, getting your first weight on the bar, working from a broomstick, to somebody who is younger and at the peak of their anabolic windows, pulling, 12 plates on the bar off of the platform. It's really incredible to see. We've been going down to Cincinnati, myself and my coaches, just to kind of get a feel for the operations of our gym when it opens, and just to see the fellowship that is developed inside of the gym with all the different members in the group. It's just been incredible. People go out to lunch together. It's just, they become best friends. And again, like I said earlier, it's really cool when everybody shares values, has the same goal, same mission. They're there to get stronger, and they're there to support each other. So,
yeah, and I'm glad that you brought up your time at Starting Strength Cincinnati, because it's another feature of the franchise gyms that's uncommon in the fitness industry. The gyms work together. They don't compete against each other. In fact, the gyms work as career development centers for their trainees, for their candidates, the apprentices, the coaches, and they also work collaboratively with other gyms. Like, they will help to prepare your team while you're in the process of building, just to help you guys out and give you a place to come and learn. It's really incredible. It's an incredible environment.
It really is.
Well, there's a sense of community, not that we just want to build in our gym, but within the starting strength system as well. And I think that's one of the things that's most attractive about starting strength.
Yes, everyone is in it for the same mission, right? To get their community stronger, to bring starting strength to more people. And I know that you have a big vision for Columbus and for your starting strength gyms. Once this gym is up and running, what are your plans for the future, your hopes, your dreams?
Hopes and dreams are for more,
Yeah.
if possible. Even one or two more in the Columbus area at least. So I think we already have some people in Northeast Columbus that are chomping at the bit to get a gym over there. So, hopefully, God willing, if all goes well, we'll be looking to open number 2 here in not the near distant future here.
Yep. Whatever the market gives us. I think that this is just such a fantastic program and really a product that the fitness industry hasn't seen before. So really, it's a mission, a personal mission for Megan and I to try to spread the gospel there. So
yeah, Columbus is very lucky to have you guys. So if people want to learn more about your gym, learn about your open houses, or be kept up to date on when the gym is opening, how do they get on an email list? Where do they go to be kept up to date?
absolutely. The first thing is if you have interest in the program or the gym, definitely join our early interest list. And our address for our website is columbus.startingstrengthgyms, plural.com. And that'll take you straight to the landing page. The first thing you'll see is a field to allow you to enter your information and join our list to be kept abreast of the details to opening, grand opening, and pre-sale. I would encourage everybody to follow us on Rip and Steph's forum, startingstrength.com. I would encourage you to follow us on social media. If you're on Instagram, we are Starting Strength Columbus, and also on Facebook.
So if somebody out there is interested in learning more about the coaching positions, they can go to startingstrengthgyms.com and go to the work at a gym page, or they can reach out to you on Instagram and send you a DM. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to sitting down and doing a part 2 with you when the gym is up and running and we're talking about your next location.
Thanks so much.
You. Thanks.
We appreciate it, Nina.
Today. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.